What's going on today, everybody? I hope you're having an awesome day, because I'm having an awesome day. It's cold outside, middle of winter, but it's time to go ahead and run through some things and get them back to tip-top shape. One of the things I've been struggling with is this guy right here. The spark had a dead battery on me last time we went out, so that's a number one fix, but also I've been having troubles with water scavenging. So it's not pulling water out as well as it should be while it's running. And so we got a new box out of an old Yamaha, so let's go ahead and modify that thing to make it better, make it Yamaha better. So I've already gone ahead and taken out all of my bolts for the hole, as well as the bolts for the steering. That was a major thing. Taking the steering off, as well as done the electrical main disconnect for everything up on the handlebars to the ECU or to the body. Those are all done, so it's time to now remove or lift the two shells apart and hopefully get this thing separated. So let's go ahead and pull the top part off, and then we'll get to work on the inside of the spark. Oh, gas cap too. Super convenient and light. So, if you remember, you might not remember from last year, but last year I went through and I've been having troubles with, nobody put a scavenge system on this, so it kept filling up and I couldn't figure out why. After a while, I made my own scavenge system, thought I was being smart, putting a one-way valve on it so water didn't come back in. Well, it doesn't make quite enough suction to pull the spring for that one-way valve off, so we're gonna go back to basics with the Yamaha piece, and this is the main piece to resistance. So the thing that makes it different than everything else is there's a little hole in it. You're probably not going to be able to see it too well until we put a light in it, and you can kind of tell there is a little hole in there, and all that's doing is allowing air to enter here, so when it's not being used, that air will let the water drain. So this will be your high point, and it will be basically like opening the lid and letting that water drain through both the hoses. So that is what a lot of people mess up, because if you don't have that little hole, now it's sitting underwater, and now the water drains this way because you've got the lake over here. It's actually being a siphon. It's siphoning it up and putting it into the hole versus taking it out. So that little pinhole is very, very important. So let's go ahead and put this in, and then I've got a box, a leaf box, so it will sit on the bottom and actually be able to have something collect underneath instead of hanging out. Let's go ahead and install this. So here's the system that I had before. There's a little one-way valve here. I thought I was just killing it. Definitely not. That one-way valve then came down to another hose, which came down to my makeshift filter that's down there. So let's go ahead, remove this guy, and see if we can do better. So here's the main contraption of my system prior. Now there's water in it, so that's a good sign. But my barb fitting, not ideal. I did try to go ahead and put a hole in it, but I don't think it filled right, because I think the hole's filled. If you see on the bottom, there's still a bunch of sand in there, and the hose inlet is significantly smaller than this one. So those factors might be leading me to not suboptimal results, because this water still is stuck in here and not coming out. And there's a bunch of sand. Why is there sand in there? How is sand getting in the hole? I don't know. Now I got more mysteries. But let's go ahead and replace this junk. Get some new stuff in there. There we go. I don't think that turned out half bad. I don't love this hose, but I don't have another one to replace it, so we're just going to roll with it. I did have to use a different hose. I used some clear stuff that I had because the other one was a little bit too short to get it down where I wanted it to. Now, I want it right here because this cable or this hose will actually hold it down and hold it in place really, really well so it won't go jostling around. That's number one done. Just zip tied up to the foam up here. Job number one, let's call it done. So now let's attack that guy, which hopefully shouldn't be too bad, but it's a problem. Well, I don't know why it's a problem. Out with the old battery and in with the new battery. Now I have one that's a little bit bigger than this one, but it's the same, pretty much everything. It's just a little bit bigger. And it's tried and true. It hasn't really let me down. So out with that junk, and we'll go put a new one in that junk. I told you it was a little bit bigger. I had to modify a little bit, so shaved this backside here, pretty much the backside down, because I wanted to push it more towards the center of the ski, if anything, and that's all I really needed to do. Now, the hard part's going to be to get this strap over it, but it's stretchy, so I don't think we'll have a huge problem. Now, let's go ahead, toss that thing in there, and oh crap, maybe I wanted that on first. I don't know, I'm gonna get this on here somehow. Well, battery is installed, everything's looking good, and I went ahead and decided to do another mod on there and remove the actual restrictive air filter from this, so you can barely see through this thing, and it's kind of a good thing that I did remove it, because there's still some on it, but on the front was a bunch of foam that had been sucked up through the intake and was going to go through the engine. That was plugging up this already plugged up spark arrestor. So, glad I kind of pulled this thing out. I got to go through and vacuum out, shove a vacuum into that air box and make sure there's no more and going to go into the engine, but it's definitely going to breathe a lot better because you can't see through that thing. That's wild that that's the air restriction for this thing. So, okay. I think it's time to start putting this thing back together and have it not look like a hobbled together mess in the garage. Let's do that. After looking at this for a while, I really didn't like how it was hanging, so I changed it. This allows it a little bit better alignment on stuff, and while I had the hood off, the top off, I went through and re-gooped all of the fittings that I could see on the top. There's one back there, one right there, one in the bottom, and then one in the middle. Those are all the ones that are really can get to. I didn't do the mounts for the engine because those have seals on the bottom, but the ones that had goop on them, I re-gooped them, and hopefully that fixes our issues for the better. Awesome. That stuff's all done. Now let's go ahead and struggle putting this deck lid on by ourselves because it's like 11 o'clock at night and nobody else is awake, so smart choices. Alright, let's get this put back together. Well, it's done. Definitely easier said than done, especially doing it by yourself, but it is doable. Just awkward. All buttoned up. Perfect. Here's a garage hack for you. If you guys want to try the jet ski, but your key is all the way over there in a bag, and you don't want to go get it, get a little magnet. Push our button over here. Look at that. It'll work. I had water in it still. Now, don't be like me and forget to put the steering cable back in and tighten it up and plug the connector back in for the dash and all the buttons, or else nothing will really work. Other than that, tighten your bolts down and have an awesome rest of your day. Okay, I'm going to do that and enjoy the rest of my night. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Take it easy, everyone. Hope you're getting ready for the summer season coming up, because I'm ready for it already. Let's go. Oh, so much water. Magnet trick works great.